So if you look at Russia, what you will find in Russia, Moscow is an important place, right? And underground railways and commuter trains both have developed in this particular country. But you can see, looking at your class level, they have not comprehended on or explained that in detail. So it is not an important question. Then in North America again, what is the use of the railways? This you can just notice that here the use, uh, in contrast to many European countries, the railways are used for, in North America, most of the railways are used for carrying goods and not passengers. Okay, so this is because North America is very, very developed, you can say, and they've got a lot of money, and so they may not be using railways to that extent for traveling from one place to another. Maybe the cars are used and planes are used, but not railways to that extent. Further, you can see in Canada, again, transcontinental railways are carrying wheat and coal. When it comes to Australia, this railway line is also very important from Perth to Sydney because it is touching the two ends of the continent. Such railway lines are called as transcontinental. So here also Perth to Sydney there's a railway line. And what do we see in South America? There is one from Argentina and coffee growing regions of Brazil, right? And then uh, in Argentina, Chile, and Andes, there's one, but you don't have to remember all of them in Asia because these are not important questions as in terms of board paper. Japan, China, and India in Asia also, they are thickly populated and they also have railways. Then when it comes to Australia, there are 4 railway lines, and if you want to know what is the importance of railway line, all the railway lines, if you see, it is marked that there is a, along with the railway line, you will also be noticing that there is something important like copper belt here. Again, in the second railway line, Tanzania railway line, Zambia copper belt is there. Then the third railway line, Botswana to Zimbabwe, it is for the landlocked states because that is the access to the sea. So, and the fourth one is the blue train. The blue train is blue in color. And so with this, we come to transcontinental railways. And transcontinental railways, the first one that we are going to do is the route of Russia, if you see. And when you look at Russia, from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok in the Pacific coast, and this is the longest railway line, right? So what do we see? What are the characters? This question has come in the paper, Trans-Siberian Railway Line. It is double tracked. This means one for going and one for coming railway line. Then it is electrified. Electrified means it is run by electricity. Then there are important centers which are mentioned here, and you can see that way this is a very important railway line. I should show it to you. Here it is, if you see, and from St. Petersburg to Vladivostok. Now your eyes should be on the screen because this is an important board question. A will be written here. B will be written here at Vladivostok. Usually this is the method they follow. And A stand for St. Petersburg. And here B will stand for Vladivostok. Now you should be able to identify the feature shown because I'm telling you it's a board question that is being discussed. So they may remove this name Vladivostok, St. Petersburg, and all those names mentioned here. They may remove, and they may then ask you about Baltic water body this side, if you see, here it is Baltic Sea, and here it is Pacific Ocean this side, or Sea of Oktash. So you should remember that there are two water bodies: Pacific Ocean this side in the east, and Baltic Sea on the west. A for Pittsburgh, sorry, St. Petersburg, and B for Vladivostok. So I should write that down here. I will write down how it comes in the paper. They may write uh, A like this and ask you to identify. And they may write here uh, B, and then maybe they may leave some spaces for you to identify and write. So you can do that like this, right? And so this will help you. This is how it is usually done in the paper. And the water bodies also they may ask you. And one water body is here, you can see. So this is also important. We should remember Baltic Sea, which is here, and this Baltic Sea will not be written on the map in the board. So you should remember that fact, that they will not be writing this on the board. So you should take care of this particular point, that you should remember this. So here you can write down the characteristics of the railways, which I will do for you. It says double tracked, right? So why don't you can write it down here, all the characters, like it is double tracked. Then it is electrified. Then it is, further you can write, it is one more character, longest. So double tracked, electrified, longest, all these characters, electrified, double tracked, longest, all of them have been written. And so even these points have been mentioned, right? So this will be your, what I'll do. They will remove this particular dot so that you can identify. Yes. So that's it. It will be something like this, St. Petersburg, right? So, and Vladivostok, they will remove this particular point. So this will be your full stop. So you have got an important question double done. Uh, See, it's like a frill work. Whenever it comes to Russia, it will be able to help you. Frill work की तरह से बना हुआ है. So you can uh, remember this like this. Then we come to the next railways, Trans-Canadian Railways. Now it says Halifax in the east to Vancouver in the uh, Pacific coast, and Trans-Canadian Railways kilometers is also given. It says it connects Quebec Montreal industrial region with wheat belt of prairies and conifer forest in north. So what we can do is um, so if you look at the Trans-Canadian Railways, it connects Halifax in the east and it connects Vancouver in the west. These are the two endpoints which we need to remember for the paper, है ना? Map work you have already learned for this. And in this area, if you see Quebec and Montreal, they are the industrial regions of this particular country. And further, what do you find? That wheat are grown in the prairie region. Prairie region is here, so wheat is grown here, and meat is also present. Wheat and meat are exported through this railway line, and industrial products must also be exported. That is why Quebec Montreal industrial region must also be being benefited. Now, how do you identify this railway line and this? If you see in Canada, it's a sharp cut. A line is as if कैंची से कटा हुआ हो. C for Canada and C for कैंची. Remember this line. This is the method to remember this. सीधा कटा हुआ है एकदम ऐसे लाइन. यहाँ पर फ्रिल जैसा लगता है रशिया में. How to identify? अगर रशिया है तो A will be St. Petersburg, B will be Vladivostok. If it is Canada, A will be Vancouver and B will be Halifax, because Halifax is the point they have mentioned, right? And they will not ask you Sydney, they will ask you Halifax. Then further, we move on to the next railway line. If you see this particular railway line, it is Australian Transcontinental Railways. Now, Australian Transcontinental Railways join the eastern part of Australia, that is Sydney, and to Perth, which is in the west of Australia. So Perth to Sydney, A for Perth and B for Sydney. And remember, the water body here is Indian Ocean, and this side it will be Tasman Sea / Pacific Ocean. So then these broken hills, etc., usually they do not come as a question as such, but they say the two endpoints, the water bodies, and importance that it connects the whole country, and it is one railway line which touches the two ends. And now there's another railway line here also, which is not a part of your course, so we will not discuss about that.